That was totally a spoiler. I totally just gave you guys a spoiler. Crap. Girl. Let's do this again. Hey everybody, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. So today I thought I would do something I haven't done yet, and that's revisit an old book haul to see what I've read. And I know I haven't read most of what I got in this book haul, but this is the first book haul I did on my channel a year ago. So I'm coming up on like my 1-year anniversary, and this is like, I watched like the first 30 seconds of this to make sure I had the right video queued up, and I'm already like cringing something fierce, but like, it's all good in the hood, it's gonna be fine. But I thought, why not take a look at, again, the first book haul I ever did, see where I'm at as far as books that I'm bringing into my life and reading, not reading them. And especially as it's the same time of year where I'm gearing up to talk about books I would love to receive as holiday gifts, or that I plan to buy with any holiday mad money I get, / Black Friday sales are already being talked about on Book Outlet and Book Depository. So I am a girl who will always buy books, and there's only so many hours in the day. But let's get into my cringeworthy November Book Depository book haul from 2018. Hi everyone, I'm Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. I have a book depository haul today that I wanted to share with you. Can we talk about why I'm like, hi friends, hi people? Pain. To share what I gravitate towards, but I had also kind of gone down this. All right, let's just get to the books themselves. So we don't got time for this. Some of them I'm probably going to be a little bit vague on, but I figured why not, let's get into it. So the first book I got is Let Me Lie by Claire Mackintosh. And I read I Let You Go by Claire Mackintosh, which was, I read Let Me Lie. I read this during, I want to say it was Buzzwordathon for the word lie, way back when. I really enjoyed it. This was a woman, I don't remember what her name is, but it's fine. But both of her parents died, I want to say like a year apart, and the police said it was accidental, and this woman believes that her parents had suspicious deaths. So she is married now, she's a new baby, and basically like things happen that make her kind of question what happened to her parents. And we see the story from her perspective, and then we see a story from a detective's perspective. And I'm actually a little annoyed at myself, I don't remember their names. Ugh, it's all the way up there on the top shelf. But I loved the detective in this story. I thought he was great. I loved the perspectives. I loved the mystery. So there's a lot of things going on in this book. But very good Claire Mackintosh, a nice twist, a nice sounds soft. Well done story. Very much enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. If you haven't read Let Me Go by Claire Mackintosh, I also would recommend that one. I think that's great. Those are the only 2 of her books that I've read, but thoroughly enjoyed both of them. So the second book I got is The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. So if you watched my November reading rewind, then you know that I read The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, which has a little bit of an homage to Strangers on a Train by Patricia Highsmith. So I have not read Ripley yet, and I have actually never read it, but I've seen the movie a whole bunch of times. And part of why I got the book is because I wanted to read it, duh. But Patricia Highsmith is definitely one of the greatest crime, thriller, mystery, suspense writers, and I want to read her because I haven't. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't read any of her books. And she comes up consistently as a recommendation, as, you know, someone who you can learn from, someone who crafts great stories. So I do want to read this book. I haven't read it. I feel like it's not that long. That might be a good one. Not that I should only pick up small books, but I am, at the time I'm filming this, I've read 89 books, and I would love to hit 100 books for the year. So maybe I'll stack the deck a little with some of the shorter ones, and this could totally be one of them. Okay, the third book I got is All These Beautiful Strangers by Elizabeth Clefhorn. So this is one of those books where, it's not her name, it's Clayfos. I would have cover bought this one. What I kept hearing over and over again, which is basically enough for me, is it's Gossip Girl meets PLL. So that's about it for me. Okay, so A, get the name right, newbie at the booktube game. But I read this book last December and I loved it. And I guess it's like a little Gossip Girl because she's in an elite boarding school, but they're away. I want to say they're in New Hampshire. So it's not like the Manhattan boarding school scene. But Charlie is our main character, who is by far one of my favorite main characters ever. She's so cool. She's such a badass. I love her. And this is told in 3 different timelines. So present day Charlie, I want to say she's like 17 years old, 17, 18. I think she's 17. I think she's a junior. And she is in this elite boarding school, and basically there's like a secret society vibe to it, and she's tapped and trying to get into it. And over the course of her tapping and sort of things that transpire, some secrets about her family come up that she starts to investigate. And then we know out of the gate, when Charlie was younger, I think when she was like 8 or 10 years old, her mom disappeared. And understandably, Charlie has never totally recovered from it. She has a younger sister. There's a bit of a strain in her relationship with her dad, but it's always sort of been a mystery of like why her mom deserted them and where is she and what's going on there. So that's sort of something that has plagued Charlie and something that she's pursuing. And then we also get a timeline of like when her parents first meet and sort of their courtship and when they get married, and kind of everything up to the day that their mom disappears. So it's very interestingly done, I would say. I really enjoyed all the characters. I liked all the different timelines of things. I didn't know any of this going in. None of that spoils anything. But I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a well-crafted mystery. I thought there were some really good characters in it. It was fast. I came through it, or I went through it like very quickly, but I 100% recommend this book, and it is a gorgeous cover. So this was a totally good buy on my part. So well done, me. Next up, again, trying to go in the classic route that I'm trying to commit to for this year, and that's Ordeal by Innocence by Agatha Christie. So I have read some other Agatha Christie's before. I have watched a bunch of Agatha Christie movies, and I just love her. And I mean, honestly, as a mystery reader and writer, I probably should have... Okay, nobody cares. I have not read Ordeal by Innocence. So I did watch the Amazon movie of this, and that's why I wound up buying the book. So again, I already know the story, but some Agatha Christie's you just know. But I apparently was trying to read some classics this year. who the heck I thought I was. I did read And Then There Were None this year. I did the ABC Murders. I did the Three Blind Mice. That might have been it. But I did read a bunch of Agatha Christie's this year, but why I didn't read the one that's sitting on my shelf, I don't really know. But this is about, it is a couple, and they have adopted a bunch of children when they were younger, and now they're all adults. And I want to say the mom was murdered at the beginning, and it's trying to figure out which kid maybe did it, but then there's like an outsider involved, and then the dad is a little suspect. Typical Agatha Christie. Everybody's a suspect. We're all here for it. Let me see what else I said about it. I should have read all, I don't even know, 50, 60, 70 books. I don't even know how many books she wrote. But this one I picked up. So I was excited when I found out that Amazon had done a new movie for this story, and I didn't know anything about this story. And I was someone who watched, you know, the Agatha Christie movies that they made in the 70s and 80s with, you know, Peter Ustinov and Albert Finney and Angela Lansbury, and I loved them. And I mean, I kind of love that. And this is a standalone. This is not a Poirot or a Marple or anything. This is one of her standalone books. Let me just keep on trucking. I love that little cozy Murder, She Wrote-ish. You know, it was like Magpie Murders, the story within the story there. I do really love those kinds of throwback mysteries. So I was excited for this. And then I started to watch it, and I was a little bit disappointed because they made it kind of like smutty. So I was really disappointed in that. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like the story itself. So I thought, let me do what I should have done in the first place, read the book. This one opens with, you can see this woman is dead here. So it's a husband and wife. And okay, so I'm just gonna say what I already said. So I got the book because I should have read it, and I haven't read it, but I will read it. And yeah, on to the next. So next up is Blood Wedding by Pierre, I'm gonna butcher this, Lemaitre? I didn't take French, obviously, so I'm sorry, I'm butchering this last name. But this book came as a recommendation from April from Getting Hygge with It. And this is another one I don't know a ton about. So she did talk about it on her channel without any spoilers. But basically what I know is that our main character... So this is another book I haven't read. And this was one I was actually going to pick up. Next month is Cloak and Dagger Christmas. And then I feel like there's also another thriller readathon next month. But this is kind of that unreliable narrator. It's a nanny who, I feel like she kind of like blacks out sometimes, and probably not great to be a nanny, be in charge of somebody's kid when you have issues. And I think her issues are everything from like, where did I park my car, to, hi, I just came to and one of the kids I take care of is dead and I'm not sure if I did it. So that's kind of how this book opens. And then I believe she kind of goes on the run because she's not sure if she's the one who murdered the child and isn't quite sure what happened. But April swears by this book as being incredible, and I trust her implicitly. So I am for sure gonna give this one a go. And it's funny, like now that I'm watching these or watching this video, I'm like more excited about these books again. So that's another one that I feel like maybe I'll pull forward to try and knock out before the year's over. Okay, we're in the home stretch here, second to last. And that is Friend Request by Laura Marshall. So I've never heard of this book before. I've never heard of this author before. This was fully a case of I had picked one of those other books and that little bar came up. Yeah, I totally haven't read this book either. And this one keeps coming up in different places, but I don't know anyone who's actually read it. So I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. But this definitely, what I'm about to say is, there was another book that I bought, and then I think it was kind of like, if you like this book, you'll like this one, or like other people who bought this book bought these other books too. So let's see what this, I feel like this is like somebody supposedly died, but then our main character gets like a Facebook request from her or something. So like, is she dead? What's happening? What's going on here? Social media, and I'm guessing the girl's freaking out about it. Be friends, but Maria is dead, isn't she? Was enough for me. And their books. And that little bar came up that was like, oh, you like this one? You're really gonna like that one. And I clicked on it because I'm a sucker for stuff like that. And basically this little blurb here on the front, which is Maria wants to be friends, but Maria is dead, isn't she? Was enough for me. And I read a little bit more on the back, which isn't much, but basically Maria has apparently been dead for 25 years, but now she's friending this girl through some version of social media, and I'm guessing the girl's freaking out about it. So whether she had something to do with why Maria's dead, whether Maria... Yeah, so once again, we've got just something happened in the past, some sort of mystery coming back to haunt our people. So obviously I bought it because I wanted to read it, but I haven't read it yet. So stay tuned for that. And then I'm pretty sure I know what's coming next, and I didn't read this one either. So here we go. Deal for me. I'm in. Okay guys, last book, and that is Night Film by Marisha Pestle. So Ashley Cordova is found dead. It's ruled a suicide. She is the daughter of, I believe, like a horror film director. And this journalist, Scott McGrath, doesn't believe that it's a suicide. And apparently somewhere in Scott's past, he has crossed paths with this girl's father. And I don't know if he wrote... Yeah, so I haven't read this one either. And this is one that I've heard... I had heard like some great things about it, which is why I picked it up. And I have since heard some not great things about it, but I think it's just a case of not every book being for every person. So less about Marisha Pestle's writing, and I think some people just didn't completely like get on with the story. But this one was intriguing to me because this is actually done in like multimedia. Bear with me a second. This is also gigantic. So this is like 602 pages. It's another reason why I haven't picked this one up yet. But this is done with like everything from sort of like photos and transcripts, and I'm trying not to like, you've got like pictures of things from newspapers. I don't know if it's scripts that are in here that we're seeing, but like a completely creative way of doing the book, which I just love. And it's supposed to be, I think, like kind of messed up. Obviously it's like a mystery thriller. But it says, you know, like one hell of a read, cliffhangers, twists, fans of Gone Girl, like all these kinds of things. So this is a book that I'm very intrigued about. I haven't read anything by Marisha Pestle, but I picked this one up based on purely things that I had heard from other people on BookTube because I hadn't heard of it before that. So, of course, a book that I want to get to. And all my books are like stacked together. Oh. Maybe I'll keep this one forward because this is $2.58. I'm just gonna pull that out of the pile and say we're gonna commit to it. Okay, I think that was the last book, but let's just see how this video ends. Guys have read any of these books, or if you have any reviews, or if any of them are on. It just ends with more awkwardness. So, not a huge book haul in the grand scheme of things. What did it was like 6 or 7 books. I read 3 of them, which is pretty good. Did I read 3? Okay, so it was 7 books and I read 2 of them, but whatever. I'm counting Ripley because I saw the movie and I shouldn't. It's so stupid. So anyway, yay for that part of my awkwardness hopefully being behind me. Now I'm just talking too fast and weird in a different way. But I am excited. I feel a little bit for these books now. So I think Blood Wedding and Ripley I might pull forward and see if maybe I can get to these before the year is over. But that was a little bit eye-opening. I don't know if I'm gonna make this a thing. Let me know if you want this to be a thing. I know last November I was like just getting into BookTube, Black Friday, watching tons of people's BookTube videos, and I bought so many books at the book outlet sale last year that I'm kind of horrified because I also know I haven't read like hardly any of them. So let me know if you want to see that horror show so I can feel really bad about myself. And maybe you guys will enjoy watching that happen. But let me know if you guys have read any of these books, or if you have any books that you bought in the last year that you're eager to get to before this year is out. And I'll see you soon in another video. Thanks, guys. Bye.